One.
Well, hello to all my friends. Welcome back to Grammie's Book Nook. Today, we're going to finish our little book, Absolutely Lucy. I absolutely love Lucy books. In fact, I have quite a few Lucy books that I'll be able to share with you as time goes by. Before I get started today, I just want to say hello to a few of my friends. I want to say hello to Anaya. I hope you're enjoying your new home. I know that it's pretty hard to just move and then have to start in a new school and not even be able to go to school for a while. But things are going to be fine for you because you're a very special little girl who will make friends easily. I also wanted to say hello to Carter, and I wanted to say hello to Addie and all of the boys and girls on my bus, and you know who you are. Each one of you hold a very special place in my heart, and I am missing you every day. And I can't wait until we get to share time in person again. So, let's get started. Absolutely Lucy by Ilene Cooper. Grammie glasses on.
Update.
Here we go. School, Bobby exclaimed. Mom, Lucy doesn't want to go to school. Bobby's mother looked out the kitchen window at Lucy. Guess what she was doing? Lucy was digging a hole in Mrs. Quinn's garden, and it was the third time this week. Bobby, Mrs. Quinn said, Lucy needs to go to obedience school. Well, she does what I tell her to do. Come on with me outside and I'll show you. Bobby and his mother went outside. Lucy was still busy digging. Lucy, come. Come here, girl. Come on, Lucy. Lucy didn't even look up. Lucy, Bobby called again. This time Lucy did lift her head, but then she just went back to digging. Bobby went over to Lucy and picked her up. She squirmed to get loose. Okay, try this. Bobby put Lucy down on the ground. Sit, Lucy, sit. Lucy just looked at Bobby. Lucy, sit. Lucy lowered her tail down to the ground. She almost sat down, but not quite. Her tail started wagging, and she jumped up, and then she ran around in circles trying to catch her own tail. Do you see what I mean? Bobby's mother asked. Lucy needs to learn to sit, and she needs to learn to stand quietly, and she needs to learn how to obey. But it's summer. Nobody likes to go to school in the summer, Bobby complained. Nobody should have to go to school in the summer. The summer is the perfect time for dogs to go to school, Mrs. Quinn said. Obedience classes are starting in the park, and I think we should sign Lucy up. That night they talked about obedience school with Bobby's father. He thought sending Lucy to school was an excellent idea. Maybe Lucy will learn to like her leash, Mr. Quinn said. Lucy didn't like being on her leash at all. Lucy liked to run free. Bobby didn't think there was a school in the world that could make Lucy like her leash. Well, who's going to be taking Lucy to school? Bobby asked. His parents looked at each other. Well, why don't you and I take her, Bobby? His father asked. Oh no, Bobby didn't like this idea one little bit. It was bad enough Lucy had to go to school. He didn't want to have to go to school too. School meant new people to meet, new people that he would have to talk to. Well, can I have some time to think about it? Bobby asked. Go ahead, think about it, Bobby, said his mother, but don't take too long. Lots of people want to sign their dogs up for obedience school. The next day, Bobby and Lucy went to visit Mr. Davis. Bobby told Mr. Davis about obedience school. Well, why don't you want to go, Mr. Davis asked. Bobby could feel his face getting red. Too many new people. Just too many new people, he mumbled. Big dogs, little dogs, furry dogs, sleek dogs, mighty dogs, mutts. Dogs were walking and running and barking and yapping all over the park. It was the first day of obedience school. Lucy trotted to the edge of the grass. Then she stopped and looked up at Bobby. Oh my goodness, she's never seen so many dogs, Bobby said to his father. Well, I think there are only about 10 dogs, Mr. Quinn said. It just seems like more because they're so noisy. How is Lucy going to learn to be obedient when all these dogs are so wild, Bobby asked. The dogs will learn to be obedient together, Mr. Quinn said. But he didn't look all that sure. A happy-looking woman with curly hair came over with a big smile and said, "Hello." She wore a big, shiny silver whistle around her neck. "I'm Marcia. I'm the trainer," she said. Mr. Quinn introduced himself, introduced Bobby, and introduced Lucy. Marcia leaned over and patted Lucy's head. "Well, hello, Lucy. You're going to be a good student, aren't you?" Lucy tried to jump on Marcia and lick her face. Marcia just laughed. "We'll start in a few minutes. When I blow my whistle, meet me by the big oak tree." Marcia pointed out the tree, and then she walked away. "She seems very nice to me," Mr. Quinn said. Lucy liked her, Bobby said. "Hi," said a girl about Bobby's age. Bobby looked at the ground. "Hi," he mumbled. "My name is Candy," the girl said, "and this is Butch." She pointed to her dog, a boxer. Mr. Quinn patted Butch on his head. "Well, hello, Butch. Hello, Candy. I'm Mr. Quinn, and this is Bobby." Butch sniffed at Lucy, and Lucy sniffed right back. "How long have you had Lucy?" Candy asked. Before Bobby could even answer, Candy said, "We've had Butch about 2 months. We got him from a neighbor who was moving away. His name was already Butch. He looks like a Butch. Don't you think he looks like a Butch? Is Lucy a good dog?" Bobby looked at his father. Bobby hoped he would answer all the girls' questions. "Well, what about it, Bobby?" Mr. Quinn said. "Is Lucy a good dog?" "Yes," said Bobby quietly. "Well, Butch is not a good dog," Candy told Bobby. Butch gave a low growl. "Butch is wild." Candy looked rather happy about that fact. "My mother says Butch is driving her crazy." Candy's mother joined the group. "That's why Butch is going to obedience school," she said. Marcia blew her whistle. The dogs and their owners gathered by the big oak tree. "Go ahead, Bobby," his father said. Well, what about you?" Bobby asked. "Nope, I'll wait over here on the sidelines and watch," his father answered. "Well, I thought you said we were going to do this together. You and me and Lucy, together." "No," Mr. Quinn said. "A dog needs one person to train with." Candy tugged at Bobby's arms. "Come on, let's get going." Bobby looked back at his father as Candy dragged him away. His father just gave him a wave. Everyone was lining up with their dogs. "I think our dogs are the best. Don't you think our dogs are the best?" Candy asked. Bobby looked at all the other dogs. It was really hard to judge. All the dogs were so different. He thought Lucy was the best. He wasn't all that sure about Butch. "Lucy and Butch are the best, right, Bobby? Right, Bobby? Lucy and Butch are the best, right?" Butch looked like he might be the best at growling. He was growling loudly at the other dogs. Candy was still waiting for an answer. Well, I guess our dogs are the best," Bobby finally said. Candy said, "I like having a big dog. The other day, Butch..." "Oh my gosh," Bobby thought. "This girl sure likes to talk. Doesn't she ever stop?" Marcia blew her whistle again. "We will begin by teaching our dogs how to come when we call their names. Dogs want to learn to obey their masters. It makes them really happy when we're happy." So, for the next half hour, the owners called their dogs. When they came, the owners patted their pets and said, "Good dog, good dog." By the end of the class, Lucy was coming to Bobby when he called her. Butch, on the other hand, was another story. Sometimes Butch ran away when Candy called him. Sometimes he sat down and scratched himself. Every once in a while, if he felt like it, he would come. "He's getting the hang of it. Don't you think he is? Don't you think he's getting the hang of it?" Candy asked Bobby when the class was over. Bobby didn't want to hurt Candy's feelings, so he said, "Well, he is really trying." Bobby picked up Lucy. He looked around for his father. "Let's go for ice cream," Candy said. "What?" Bobby asked with surprise. No one his age had ever asked him to go for ice cream. "Whoa, we worked hard. Let's get some ice cream," Candy repeated. I don't think I can," Bobby said. "Well, why not?" Candy wanted to know. Bobby's father and Candy's mother found them. "Great job, Lucy." Mr. Quinn gave Lucy a big pat. "Are you ready to go, Bobby?" "I asked Bobby to go get ice cream with us. Is that okay, Mom?" "Well, I don't see why not." Candy's mother was excited to go for ice cream. "Bobby doesn't live too far from us. We can take him home after that." "That sounds like a good idea," Mr. Quinn said. "I'll take Lucy home with me." No one had even bothered to ask Bobby if he wanted to go. He didn't want to go at all. He felt shy just thinking about it. "I'm going to have Rocky Road ice cream," Candy said. "What kind of ice cream do you like, Bobby?" But before Bobby could even answer, Candy said, "Chocolate. Chocolate. I bet you like chocolate. Maybe we can get banana splits. What about it, Mom?" Mr. Quinn and Lucy left, and Bobby found himself walking out of the park with Candy, her mother, and Butch. They went to the ice cream shop. Candy had a banana split, and Bobby had a double-dip cone. Chocolate. Bobby and Candy sat outside the shop eating their ice cream. Candy said, "I'm going to work with Butch all week until he comes when I call him. He's very smart, you know. He's just not trying. He's not applying himself." Candy giggled. "That's what my teacher says about me sometimes. Maybe you should come over to my house with Lucy. We can practice together. Saturday would be a great day. Can you come over to my house in the afternoon on Saturday?" The worst thing about being shy was never knowing what to say next. Bobby could see this was going to be a problem with Candy. But she talked enough for both of them. "Will you come?" Candy asked. Bobby licked his ice cream cone. It tasted great. "Yes," he said, "I'll come. Absolutely." Now Bobby had two friends, and what a surprise. His friends were an elderly gentleman and a girl. Even so, Mr. Davis and Candy made very good friends. It was easy to be around them. He had fun when he was with them. They made him laugh, and sometimes he even made them laugh. Lucy and Butch had been going to obedience school for 3 weeks. Lucy came when she was called. She would sit, she would fetch a ball, but Butch, not so much. He wouldn't fetch a ball, he wouldn't sit, he still answered his name only if he felt like it. One day in August, Bobby and Candy were sitting on Bobby's porch. Butch and Lucy were sleeping at their feet. "My mom's getting kind of mad at Butch," Candy said. "She doesn't think he's trying very hard." Bobby thought maybe Candy's mother was right. "I told her Butch was trying. Maybe he's just dumb." Butch must have heard this. He opened his eyes and growled. "Oops, sorry, Butch," Candy said. Butch closed his eyes and fell back asleep. "We're going to miss 2 classes while we're away. Mom says I can use the time to practice stuff with Butch, the things that he hasn't learned yet." "You're going away?" Bobby asked. This was the first time he'd heard about Candy going somewhere. "Oh, yes. We're going to the lake for 2 weeks," Candy told Bobby. "We're going to stay in a cottage." Bobby had a funny feeling in his stomach. He wasn't sure exactly what that feeling was, and then it hit him. He was feeling funny because he was going to miss Candy. He'd never missed a friend before. The day Candy left, Bobby was lonely. He decided to take Lucy for a walk and visit Mr. Davis. But when they got to the yellow house, Mr. Davis was locking his door. He was carrying a small suitcase. "Are you going somewhere?" Bobby asked. "Yes, Bobby," Mr. Davis said. "I'm going to stay with my daughter for a while." "Are you feeling all right?" Bobby asked. "Oh, don't worry, I'm fine," Mr. Davis answered. "But my house is just so hot. I have just one small air conditioner in the bedroom. My daughter's whole house is air conditioned. I'm going to stay there until it gets cooler." "Oh," Bobby said. He had that funny feeling in his stomach again. Mr. Davis looked at Bobby. "I won't be gone very long. As soon as we get a good cool breeze, you look for me." "Have a good time," Bobby said in a small voice. Lucy yipped. It seemed like Lucy knew that Mr. Davis was leaving too. A car honked. "Oops, there's my daughter," Mr. Davis said, and he hurried down the stairs. "See you soon, Bobby. Bye, Lucy." Bobby sat down on Mr. Davis's rocking chair. He picked up Lucy and put her in his lap. There was a funny feeling coming again. He was lonesome. He missed his friends. One day passed, then another and another. Bobby wasn't just lonesome anymore. He was bored. He was so bored. He spent most of his time watching television. "Do you want to go to the library and get some books?" his mother asked. "Oh no, I don't want to do that. It's too hot to read," he said. His mother frowned. It may be too hot to play ball, but it's never too hot to read. But Bobby was grumpy. "Well, I just don't feel like reading," he said. "Do you want to go to the swimming pool later?" his mother asked. "That would cool you off." Bobby just shrugged. "I don't care," he said. Now his mother was getting mad. She said, "Bobby, all you do is watch TV all day. At least take Lucy for a walk." Bobby looked at Lucy. Lucy was stretched out in front of the air conditioning fan. She didn't look like she wanted to go anywhere. Then Bobby looked at his mother. She did not look like she was going to take no for an answer. So Bobby got up and clipped Lucy's leash on her. "We might melt," Bobby warned his mother. "Well, if you don't come back, I'll look for 2 puddles of water, one with a tail floating in it," Mrs. Quinn said with a smile. Bobby and Lucy went outside. He glanced at the house across the street. He hadn't seen the new kids in a long time. Maybe they were on vacation like Candy. Then Bobby saw someone coming out of the house. It was the boy who was about his own age. The boy began bouncing a yellow tennis ball. He acted like he didn't know Lucy and Bobby were across the street, but Bobby could see him peeking at them, about every third bounce. Should I say hi, Bobby wondered. He could feel his face getting red, and it wasn't just from the heat. He was being shy again. Maybe he had 2 friends now, but he still didn't like to go up to a strange kid and say hello. So Bobby walked more quickly down the block. Suddenly, Lucy stopped. She had spotted something. The yellow tennis ball was rolling in her direction. Lucy knew just what to do. She had done it plenty of times at obedience school. She tugged on her leash so that she could fetch the ball. She grabbed it with her mouth as it rolled by. She tugged on her leash. She tried to get Bobby to cross the street. She wanted to give the ball back to the boy. Bobby didn't want to go across the street, but Lucy did. The boy was in no hurry to get his ball. He just stood there as Bobby and Lucy came toward him. His eyes were down on the sidewalk. Well, he's not very friendly at all, Bobby thought. And then Bobby realized that he knew that look. He knew it very well. It wasn't the look of someone who was unfriendly. It was the look of someone who was shy. Lucy scampered up to the boy. She dropped the ball at his feet and gave a happy bark. Can you give her a pat for bringing the ball back to you, Bobby asked. That's what they tell us to do at obedience school. The boy didn't say anything, but he patted Lucy's head. Lucy pushed the ball with her paw. The boy looked up. What's her name? He asked in a small voice. Lucy. What's your name? Bobby asked boldly. Sean. I'm Bobby. I live across the street. I know, Sean said. I've seen you. She looks like a great dog. Oh, she is, Bobby said. She's the best dog. Well, my mom won't let me get a dog yet, Sean smiled. But I'm working on her. Oh, dogs make great friends, Bobby told him. I'll tell my mother that, Sean said. Neither boy said anything for a few seconds. Bobby felt very uncomfortable. That's how he felt when he couldn't think of anything to say to the kids at school. Bobby thought maybe it was time to go. But Lucy had other ideas. She picked up the ball in her mouth. She looked first at Bobby, and then she looked at Sean. She wants to play, Bobby said. He took the ball from Lucy's mouth, and then he took a great big breath. We have a fenced-in yard for Lucy. Do you want to come to my house and play with her? Sean looked happy. I'm going to go in and ask my mother. I'll be right back. Bobby sat down on the grass to wait for Sean. He pulled Lucy close to him. Lucy, he whispered, I have a feeling Sean might be my third friend. Wow. He continued softly, I'm going to have 3 friends. He thought about how he had met each of his friends. He met all of them because of Lucy. Lucy was like a lucky charm. Bobby gave his dog a squeeze. Even if I make 100 friends, he told her, you will always be my best friend. You are absolutely the best dog in the whole world. Absolutely, Lucy. Lucy barked. She agreed. The end. I like that story. There's something very special about pets and people. If you have a pet, you know what I mean. They can be our friends when nobody else is available. We can tell them our secrets and we'll be sure that they'll never tell anyone else. They know when we're sad and they try to comfort us, and they know when we're happy, and that brings them great joy. So, finished with this Lucy book, I'm going to read a picture book the next time we get together. And then I think we'll do another Lucy book. So, I hope you had a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. I hope everything is good in your world. So we're going to finish up today, and you all know what that means. Rolling up the sleeves, getting ready to sing our hand washing song, because that's the way we always end our time in the Book Nook. So are you ready? Here we go. We're going to wash those germs away, strong and healthy every day. We make wise choices so we stay well. We're going to wash those germs away. We're going to wash those germs away, strong and healthy every day. We make wise choices so we stay well. We're going to wash those germs away. We make wise choices in every way. We're going to wash those germs away. Okie dokie. We're done with our time together today, but I can't wait until we get together again. Bye now.